I was flipping through the channels on our television when I caught a rerun station showing the Dick Cavett show. Someone I probably should cover here, but I won't, not now anyway. He was interviewing someone wearing a tuxedo with a big black bow tie, and I thought, that's Chuck Jones. How I thought that, I don't know, but I turned up the sound, and sure enough, it was Chuck Jones. He began to draw a sketch of the Roadrunner for his host. He started with, beep beep. Jones went to art school and through a friend got a job washing cells so they could be reused, and inking, then drawing and doing some directing, which means he was doing everything, for Warner Brothers. That studio was using animation to refresh its stagnant music catalog, and so Jones was making Merry Melodies and Looney Tunes. Some work on this had already been done, most notably by Tex Avery, another gentleman who definitely deserves further consideration than he will get here. If you have seen Jim Carrey's movie The Mask, you have seen a brief and fabulous cavalcade of what Tex Avery could do. Jones helped to develop Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, Elmer Fudd, and Daffy Duck. He raised from scratch the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, Ralph Wolf and Sam Sheepdog, Marvin the Martian, on top of which you can toss in work like One Froggy Evening and The Dot on the Line. It's a hell of a catalog. Jones was heavily influenced by the performances of the great silent film comedians. He examined movement and facial expressions. He studied Chaplin, who broke away from the madcap slapstick of Mack Sennett's Keystone Cops to create a character of his own, the Little Tramp, upon which he could fashion the various stories which comprised his numerous shorts and later the full-length movies. It is the individual, the oddity, the peculiar that counts, Jones realized, and he pounded that truth into all the people he worked with, the result being that he created a host of cartoon characters who seemed to be real. When a little boy was told that it was Jones who drew Bugs Bunny, the kid was offended, got mad. He doesn't draw bugs, he draws pictures of bugs, he said. Maybe apocryphal, but you get the point. Jones gave Walt Disney all the credit for establishing cartoon animation as an art form, starting with the Three Little Pigs in 1933. But Jones and Warner Brothers pushed it further. Instead of copying Disney's lovable characters, they inevitably went for the offbeat, the snarky, the wild and crazy, and kids loved it. With Daffy, Bugs, and the Coyote, Warner would promise the over-the-top surprise, and deliver that, and more. Jones created his art form with scientific precision, once again studying the silent comedians the way they fell or ran around a corner. He appreciated the importance of precision and timing. He worked in a medium where one cell was 1/24th of a second. He learned that it was only funny if the coyote fell for 18 cells, then disappeared for 14 cells, and then hit with a whump and a distant puff of dust. If he tried 13 or 15 cells, it didn't work. It wasn't as funny. And funny was the prize. This rigorous, exhaustive approach energizes every frame in every cartoon he made. And his characters are blessed with the elasticity of, not muscle and bone, but as Tex Avery had already demonstrated, the imagination. Jones's actors could do what humans could not, including resurrecting a still determined, no, make that a much more determined than ever, Coyote, armed with the best possible gadgets that Acme had to offer. Warner cartoons are filled with characters who desperately want to accomplish something, though it is obvious to the world of children and adults that they never will. Failure only seems to urge them on, thank goodness, to greater disaster and funnier gags. Jones had the singular advantage of working for people who didn't care what he did so long as it made money, giving him a free hand. Once he and his crew were loudly ordered to never make a film about bullfighting because there was nothing funny at all about bullfighting. Since this executive had an extraordinary reputation for being wrong about everything, Jones and Company immediately set out to make Bully for Bugs. Jones said about his work that the very best he could do was the best he could do, and it shows. Animation is the trick of bringing things to life, and Jones made a deep practice of how to do this with rabbits, ducks, pigs, nuts, and squirrels. I have previously spoken about John Lasseter and how he did this with a lamp, Luxor Jr., using computer animation, a 2-minute demo that led to Pixar and Toy Story, a movie that prompted Jones to send a message of congratulations to Lasseter. I would have been remiss if I had not celebrated the brilliant and perceptive Chuck Jones.